So we received reports that Elon Musk is considering merging his Tesla company and SpaceX. That'll be a huge merger because, to date, we're always under the impression that there are going to be two separate companies as far as we're waiting on SpaceX's IPO. I definitely was. I wanted to get on that train at the beginning as soon as it left the tracks. So with them merging, what that'll do with the stock, I am unsure. But if they do merge, whatever they call it, I'm definitely going to partake in that. I think Tesla's going to both are definitely growth stock opportunities. I'm not your financial advisor, but I can tell you what I do. I'm definitely interested in investing in SpaceX when it does hit IPO. But let's hear the reports on it, and we'll add commentary from there. But this is huge news, actually.
Biggest merger in business history. Top tech analyst Dan Ives of Wedbush now saying he expects Tesla and SpaceX to combine into one behemoth of a company next year. He's inferring that because Tesla had invested $2 billion in Musk's other company, xAI. That stake then got converted to SpaceX shares last month when the space company acquired xAI. But the current size and structure of that stake remain unclear. As the market awaits the SpaceX IPO, the EV maker's stock has been on a 5-week lose.
Like if you they got it up there now. Tesla is on the downward tick, a downward spiral. But I have faith in the company Tesla. I think they're going to be here. And so I put as much as I can into that individual stock. And I like to buy and hold, so I should reap benefits from that in the long run.
Streak. Now, if it wants to break that streak, it needs to close today above $367.96. Right now, we're at $361.62. Not quite there, although we were earlier, so it could still happen. Joining me now, former Tesla president and DVX Ventures co-founder and CEO, John McNeil. John, go into the mind of Elon Musk. You know him, you talk to him. Do you think this is really going to happen? Is Dan Ives right? And by the
former Tesla president. This should be interesting.
It was Kara Swisher, the journalist from Silicon Valley who covered so many years, who really said this months ago. She really predicted it early.
I think Kara and Dan might be onto something. I just wrote a book about my experience at Tesla called The Algorithm, and one of Elon's most important organizing principles is simplicity. And I think in that sense, he'd rather run one.
You can tell by his vehicles, definitely minimalist features in the Tesla, at least the Model 3, which I like. They definitely try to do less clicks to do a certain thing, except for that. We'll get into that to another video. Let's hear what John has to say.
Company, not two, and would rather run one balance sheet, not two. And there's so much overlap between xAI, which is now part of SpaceX, and Tesla. Tesla's two primary initiatives are autonomous cars, which is AI, and robotics, humanoid robots, which is AI. So I think Dan and Kara might be onto something in the sense that Elon would put all those assets together and just make it a lot more efficient to run.
And how would that go with investors out there? Do you think that they would like it? Because there are so many people who have been waiting on SpaceX to go public.
Exactly.
And they might not see SpaceX as a normal fit for Tesla.
Right, you have three very different companies coming together potentially. You've got a rocket company that's got 90% plus market share in launch, so really good positioning, strong cash flow.
You hear that now? You hear this now. If they do merger, like you said, three companies coming together, I don't see how that stock could fail. So, yeah, I need to get my chips right. I need to get my chips together, get my money right.
You've got Tesla that's cash flowing, even though the top line shrinking, they're cash flowing. And then you've got X that's burning a lot of capital. And so those are three pretty different things, but they're all related together in terms of the core assets that they need to survive and thrive.
You are a car guy. You also sit on the General Motors board. And you were the guy who lasted 3 years at Tesla. By the way, he was telling me that the average executive lasts how many years at Tesla?
1.
So you're the one who lasted.
I was an old timer by year 3.
Tesla, from a car company perspective, has had a rough go of it. They have seen much lower delivery numbers.
Yeah.
They have also seen production numbers go down, and there are way more competitors. It used to.
We'll see if that stays the same. Well, definitely true with the competitors, but we'll see if that stays the same with the current gas prices and forecasting of how long gas prices are going to be on the rise.
The only game in town.
Exactly.
And now everybody's making EVs.
Right. Yeah.
Some are scaling back because President Trump is not that excited about.
Everyone's making EVs, and I like them. I like the Chevy EVs. Definitely like the Cadillac EVs, but right now my confidence is. I still want to say that Tesla is the leading EV manufacturer as far as I think their competitors have caught up with the technology. This is just a personal thing. I have just more trust in Tesla's infrastructure, if you want to say. So if I were to that was a long-winded soliloquy to say that if I was to get an EV tomorrow, it would more than likely wouldn't be. It would be a Tesla, even though there's definitely some competitive choices out there. I'll get a Tesla.
But BMW, it has an award-winning EV.
Yep.
B1B in China.
Plus, I can't even afford the BMW and the Cadillac, so kind of puts me in a spot there.
Yeah.
So, do you foresee at some point Tesla not making those cars anymore?
I think I do. You can see a day when that happens, largely because Elon has gone all chips in on humanoid robots. They've pulled the production dates forward for those robots. They're making huge progress.
That I would provide commentary on that, but they did shut down. I think it was the Fremont plant to basically be dedicated to humanoids. So they're not even making the X and the S. They're not even making those anymore. So that kind of shocked me, to be honest with you.
And you can see a day where all that manufacturing capacity might be absorbed by humanoid robots and robotaxis. I think those could be their two products going forward.
Yeah.
Now that makes sense, using that plant for robotaxis. Robotaxis, I think, has a future. Yeah, it has a future.
Humanoid robots.
Yeah.
Do you think they will be as big a deal and as big a revenue driver as Elon believes they will? They are very tall. You're nodding. You want one of those in your house?
I'll stop right there. Or pause. I don't think so. Well, let me make sure I say this correct. Yes, they may be popular, but I don't think they're going to be as popular, at least in the short term, as they're saying. Because hey, those things are going to come out. They're going to be like what, $20,000. I'm not chomping at the bit to have a robot walking around in here, cleaning up or doing whatever they say it can do. I wish we could scale back on the humanoid robots thing. I don't like it. I won't be getting one. I can cut my own grass. So that's my take on humanoid robots at the moment. I'm pretty forward thinking. I'm not afraid of technology, but I think we need to scale back. Well, it's not my choice, but I wish we would scale back on the domestic humanoid robot whole concept.
I don't know if we've got some, but these are the Optimus Primes.
Exactly. They were actually made to be smaller than a human, so that you could literally reach around the back of the neck and shut them off. And one of the design principles was...
Nobody even said that because it can be perceived as a danger. We've already saw iRobot and all that stuff. So you make this giant robot or man-sized robot. Like, how strong is that thing? What can it lift? Can it lift a couch by itself? What is it going to do to a human?
Small, so that they're easily more easy to manipulate as a human, and not as threatening.
They just wanted to be less intimidating. That's all that theory or concept is about.
But I do see that as potentially being...
Get a thing a software update and it can lift, I don't know, 500 pounds. It's
maybe the biggest consumer product of all time, and certainly we're deploying them.
I would bounce back on that because first of all, I need to know the price point. There's people out here barely can afford vehicles at the price point it is now. So how much you think this thing really is, And how much are I'm talking about the average consumers here willing to pay for this assistant. I guess we can call it that.
Even in places like General Motors, in the factory, as fast as we can, because we're short places, people to work in dangerous places. You'd much rather put a robot into those situations.
That I would have liked to push back. He said that they're interested in the robots because General Motors are short people to work in dangerous places. I would like to know exactly. Give me an example. Because look at this guy. I wouldn't be surprised if they wanted to build these robots to just replace the majority of the humans. Just have a maintenance crew probably at these factories. I want to know what dangerous jobs, and is it that many at the General Motors plant that you're referring to, sir? John, isn't his name John? Look.
I get that.
Yeah.
I get that. But the auto industry overall is facing very difficult times. They're dealing with the tariffs.
Yes.
They are dealing with the $7,500 EV tax credits. So a lot of them backpedaled on their EV plans. Now, of course, we have sky high oil prices and gasoline.
Right.
Since the start of the war is now $1 higher per gallon. It almost seems like the timing wasn't quite right to scale back EVs.
That's right. And thank goodness, like General Motors didn't. We have preserved all of our models and sort of right-sized our manufacturing capacity. So if oil prices stay up, we're going to see an increased demand for EVs. And they've gone from zero to the second player in the space, and they'll strengthen that position, I think.
I know somebody who just got a Lyriq.
So we'll document that. GM is the second placeholder for EV sales, probably in the United States. So I'll fact check that, and if so, good for GM.
Yeah,
EV,
it's a great car.
They love it.
Yeah.
And by the way, she's like early 30s. She's not some old fogey.
That's a nice looking car. I bet it costs $90,000, but it's nice.
Cadillac.
Yeah, Cadillac has completely remade their image, and now it's the brand of young people who want like tech forward cars, and that's what Cadillac is.
John, good to see you. Please come back, especially when this does happen. It sounds like you believe the mega merger will happen.
So there you have it. That was info on SpaceX and Tesla merging. Look forward to seeing that and the outcomes of it, and a glimpse on my thoughts on robotics. So that's going to be the show for this week. Thank you for tuning in to your weekly news report. It's always a pleasure. I'm your host, B Dove. We'll definitely see you on the next one. Peace.